Take one. Welcome, our viewers, to Where the Music Lives On. This is our I.F.A.T.S YouTube channel, and our guest today is Mr. John Lee Hughes. John, welcome to our show.
Yay.
Yeah.
I've been looking
How are
forward
you? How
to
you
it.
doing? How you
I'm
doing?
doing great.
Good. And I want to thank you for that intro. And we'll get into your talents there in a little later. But first, I just want the viewers to get to know you. I'm not sure how many people on our I.F.A.T.S page are really familiar with you. I know that I am. And so let's start this way. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I'll start from the beginning. Let's go.
Way at the beginning. Well, my name is John Hughes Jr., John Lee Hughes Jr. I was born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee, with the exception of a brief 9-year interlude in Fort Campbell, Kentucky. My dad was in the Army, 101st Airborne. My mother taught school in Fort Campbell, Kentucky for 9 years, Marshall Elementary School, which is considered, according to 60 Minutes, one of the best public schools in the United States. I first got interested in music, and personally playing music, when I heard the sound of Junior Walker.
Linda Walker?
Junior Walker.
Junior Walker. Okay, maybe, yeah. If you can get a little closer to your microphone, I think that
Okay.
might be an issue at that point. So, yeah.
Okay,
Junior
that's
Walker. Now
okay.
it makes sense.
Well, if Linda Walker can play a sax, there
Yeah.
you go. But Junior Walker, and I started playing tenor sax. I was 12 years old when I started that, and when I went to high school, of course, I had a high school band teacher who was such a big Barry Manilow fan. Hell, we were getting Barry Manilow songs before he started recording them.
Okay. Okay.
He was a fan. It was kind of like, no, well, what's this song? Barry Manilow's going to record it next week. Okay. He was that big of a deal. And let's see, my late brother, unfortunately, rest in peace, he died from a massive stroke. But my late brother, Torian Hughes, he was a finalist on Star Search as a stand-up comic.
Oh.
I was so worried living out in LA, I almost bought a gun. Anybody here got a gun? It's Wisconsin, kind of a stupid question, wasn't it? I could see the looks of confusion on your face when I asked. You were all like, a gun? Hell, son, I got a gun in my sock.
Oh, really?
He was a finalist, Torian Hughes, and you can look up Torian Hughes on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, I certainly will. I certainly will.
But he made it to the finals. He also received a Cable Ace nomination for the Showtime Montreal Comedy Festival.
Okay.
He was up against Dennis Miller and Tracy Ullman and
Wow.
known comedians. And
Good company.
then he later on he wrote and produced for Malcolm and Eddie.
Very familiar.
For 2 years. And Eve, that show. Okay. Yes, I got to meet Eve. Yay. And it's funny because Eve is like Eve has that pit bull in a skirt image, but she's one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's just quite the opposite of what people thought about her.
Yeah. So Now you are you say you start playing the sax when you were 9,
Oh, 12.
12 years old. So when at that point, what made you decide to pick that instrument? I know you say you admired Junior Walker, but was that the reason or
That was the reason.
oh really?
That was actually the reason. Yeah, it's like I would, and my mom and dad at the time they would just roll their eyes like, okay, we'll get this kid this instrument to maybe if he won't stick with for 2 seconds, we'll just rent him an instrument, and then of course it turned out the opposite. The opposite in terms of yes, I did stick with it. Now, right here, over the years, right here, this horn right here. This is an electronic version of a saxophone. This is the Roland aerial phone, or they call it aerial phone, but it's really an EWI that stands for electronic wind instrument.
Okay.
Michael Brecker, the late Michael Brecker played it. Let's see if I can stand because of the fact that I know you're going to have problems, maybe have problems hearing this. But I
Yes,
hope
best acoustics, but I could definitely hear it. And
that's okay. There,
but
I know.
I thank you for sharing that with us. I really, really do. And so are you let's get to your taste in music. So since you chose that particular instrument, are you a fan of jazz or jazz funk, or it really doesn't matter for you? You just like playing that particular instrument.
Well, that and yeah, because I've although I wasn't totally influenced to copy somebody's style or what have you, but yes, Wayne Shorter from Weather, especially when he was with Weather Report, uh,
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Shorter, Grover Washington Jr. That was a definite one.
Okay.
David Sanborn, uh, and John Coltrane.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Oh yeah.
that and now now here's my opinion about Kenny G. Now a lot of people Kenny G's controversy is like he's not jazz and all that. Now here's my thing about Kenny G. He's not jazz. I think he's talented, but he's not jazz, and I don't fault him. I don't fault him. I fault the music industry and the record companies for putting him in a jazz category. He should be in the adult contemporary category with a Barry Manilow and Celine Dion, and it's not an insult to him because that's real good music. And
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and the record companies they look at you know if you're a guitar player, you can be a jazz guitarist, you can be a rock guitarist, you can be a blues guitarist. As soon as they see you with a horn, they automatically stick you in a jazz category.
Sure, sure.
And that's what I'm getting at with uh, a Kenny G and really a David Sam because to me David Sanborn and Grover Washington Jr. It's really jazz and R and it's really R&B and pop instrumental music without the lyrics, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, so I'm not cracking on them at all. I'm just cracking on the way the record labels automatically toss the horn players in the jazz category when they're not jazz at all.
Well, the record labels are so famous for doing that. You know, they create not necessarily the category, but they want to, put you in a certain group,
Right,
and I don't know why that is. I think it is based on what they think is marketable.
right.
So I would have to figure that Kenny G, who I do like, I
Yeah,
have
I like him.
a number of his albums or CDs, and he is extremely talented. But I think, when he started to play and his material became what's the word I want to use? I guess it crossed over.
Right.
on the radio and all that. There was at that time, I think they felt that this need to put him in this particular category, and that's unfortunate. And that's been happening since, you know, as long as I can remember from reading my history books, even during the 40s,
Oh yeah.
that has happened.
And now the funny thing about Kenny G is that, well, no, I first heard of Kenny G's song. Well, before Songbird, he was doing this song called "Hi, How You Doing?"
Yes, yes.
Hey, what's happening, baby? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
ladies, yes, and all. and just and just watching the video, it just makes me laugh because of the fact that, you know, there's this break dancer in the video,
Hmm.
and then they have a shot where the break dancer on the floor, and then in the next scene you have Kenny G getting back up and playing the
Yes, yes, yes. I know exactly which one you're referring to. Yeah.
but the hey ladies, yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
but but anyways, uh so I so what I do for a living is that I work at an HBCU, Meharry Medical College. I've been there 39 years.
And what's the name of this particular university or college?
Meharry.
And
Um,
that's it. Where is that? I don't think I've heard of that. Where is that?
okay, Meharry Medical College, that's in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
And Meharry's been around since
I'm
1876.
sure
And
it's an HBCU, so but it's one I've never heard of.
okay, and what we do at Meharry is that we train the doctors to, our main thing is train doctors to work in rural areas and to work in underserved areas.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's our main thing. And we have 1,226 students this year. You can get, we have the School of Medicine, dentistry. You can get a PhD in biomedical sciences, a, a master's in being a physician assistant, and you can also get a master's in biomedical data sciences and master's in data science. And we also have a School of Global Health where you can get a master's in public health, a master's in health equity. So it's very detailed.
Oh, okay. Well, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
What made you join I.F.A.T.S? What did you come across a page by accident or
I
what?
came across it by
Oh,
accident.
really? You did?
It's kind of like those stumble and fail. I stumbled up on it. It's like, oh, okay, this is interesting, and and it gave me time to me being a walking encyclopedia of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Me being Mr. Walking Encyclopedia, and all these years of reading books and doing the whole, just reading from here and there. It's like, oh, good. I'll just do some of my knowledge, because every time somebody post a song I like, I was like, well, that one won a Grammy for this, or that one was an.
Okay.
Oh, right. And it's
And
like, oh
I've
yeah.
definitely seen you do that. I've seen your information and your input, and I find it enlightening. I really do. I've always liked that.
Well, and I think people in general, like on my Facebook page, I avoid political stuff and religion and all that.
Okay.
I Because there's just too much going on. Just like Prince said in that song "Hello," life is cruel enough without cruel words. So
Okay.
I don't need to contribute to that. So my thing is, kind of a nostalgia thing. Or I
Hmm.
mean, the one time I did a on my page, I did a 60-day tribute to when Motown turned 60 years old.
Okay.
I did that. I was telling people day by day about the history of Motown, and little known facts that like Motown had a country music label, for instance,
Mm-hmm.
and just just little known facts that you know how I heard it. How did I heard it through the grapevine? How that came into focus because at first Barry Gordy didn't want to release Marvin Gaye's version. That
Okay.
that was in the case. Well, the first person who recorded I Heard It Through the Grapevine was the first act was Smokey Robinson and Miracles, and there's a rumor that there's one by the Isley Brothers that's in the can
Oh,
when
really?
with Motown when they were with Motown for the Isley Brothers were with Motown from '66 to 1968.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, allow me to ask you this. Now, you say you were born in Kentucky. You grew up in Kentucky?
Well, I was born in Nashville.
Nashville. Okay.
I was born in Nashville, but I grew up in from 1966 to 1975. I'm 62 years old. I was born in 1962. From 1966 to 1975, uh, we lived in Fort Campbell, Kentucky.
Okay.
And
So I'm asking that because how does a young man from Nashville on to Kentucky know so much about Motown? Is it, you know?
well, I'm gonna tell you something because my parents bought, a lot of Motown albums.
Okay, there we go. The
Uh,
influences.
yeah. My parents they were a big influence on that. Matter of fact, the first 45 I remember asking for, and and I personally asked for and got that wasn't, Hansel and Gretel or one of those children's things, was Some Things You Never Get Used to by Diana Ross and the
Yes, 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 yes.
Now, unbeknownst to me, that was their first post Holland Dozier Holland single.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It was produced by Ashford and Simpson,
Okay.
and it wasn't a big hit for them.
I
Unfortunately,
love that record though. I love it.
yeah, and it wasn't that big of a hit, but that was that was the first time I remember. I want that 45. That's not a children's, that's not Pebbles and Bam Bam. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so you're into the Motown and you've built up this knowledge of maybe unknown information because I didn't know. At least I don't. It can't come to my mind that I heard that Motown had a country label.
Well, here's the thing with Motown's country label. In 1962, there was a label called Motown had a label called Melody Records, MEL, and then it's spelled MEL, and then there's a little hyphen O, another hyphen DY. I don't know
Yes,
how
yes.
it,
Okay.
it started out as a second string R&B label, but by the mid of 1963, it from mid 1963 up until 1965, it became strictly a country label. And one song that was on the Melody label before it became country is called "Mind Over Matter" by the Pirates. The Pirates were the Temptations under another name, and back then the Temptations didn't have any hits. And Barry Gordy was saying that, well, if this becomes a hit, y'all might have to go on stage in pirate costumes. And Otis Williams said that was the first time they prayed for a flop.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. What a great story. Oh my gosh. Pirate uniform. Oh my. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and yeah, but now not many people know this about Motown is that, okay, Motown's had number one hits on pop, R&B, adult contemporary, dance music, and yes, even country.
Okay.
Because in they had a label in 1975 called Melody Land Records, where two songs by T.G. Shepherd, "Devil in the Bottle" and "Trying to Beat the Morning Home," both went to number one on the Billboard.
Really?
It was on a Motown label.
Who is um who is your favorite group in Motown from Motown?
The Temptations,
The Temptations?
the Temptations, they had it all. Nobody could out sing them. Nobody could out dance them. Well, except for when the Jackson Five came along with Michael Jackson. But other than that,
Yeah,
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 the
yeah.
Temptations. They were that's my favorite out of all the Motown acts. It's,
How long how long did you and I'm sure you still have that love for Motown, but how long did you, should I say, do a lot of research for Motown? Did you find out this information because you wanted to find out? Did you actually do research, or this information that you came about through the grapevine, if you will?
half and half, and actually half and half.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
I would say that because of the fact that information. When you read something, at first, it's like, hey, I would like to find out more about that, and then you go into this deep dive.
John,
Mm-hmm.
let me ask you about the man himself, Barry
Sure.
Gordy.
What about him?
Yeah, I wanted to know because there's been mixed reviews, I could say, about him, the type of manager that he was, the conglomerate that he had built, and the fact that he wanted everything to be, he wanted to control everything. And with that, along with that, he didn't give his artists much elbow room for for their own creativity.
Well, here's the thing about here's the thing about that. No, he didn't. Number one, he wanted to cross over into the quote mainstream
Hmm.
or white marketplace and all of that, and so he controlled that in terms of you can't be too soulful. You can't do that run. The hell, that's the reason why Diana Ross was the lead singer of the Supremes instead of Florence Ballard, because Diana Ross had the more white sounding voice.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
Florence Ballard's voice was more like Etta James.
Okay. That's
Uh,
very interesting to know. Okay. So his goal was to really, of course, make his company marketable everywhere.
right, and well, the problem with Barry here is that there was a definitely conflict of interest because you cannot be because not only was Motown. I'll give you an example. The Supremes. Not only was Motown the Supremes record label, but the International Talent Management managed them, a company owned by Motown, and their their stuff was being booked by their gigs were being booked by Motown. So that's a conflict of interest. Your record company cannot be your manager and your agent.
Okay. Wow.
So that's a big conflict of interest.
Okay. Okay. Now, it's so funny because for him to not to want to sound too soulful. I mean, you're in the heart of Detroit.
I know that's right.
Yeah, and it seems very contradictory. But again, it was a successful and still is one of the most successful record labels there
Right,
are.
right, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, your interest in music and your interest with IFATS. So, can you tell me what it is about IFATS that you like? And before you answer that, how long have you been with I.F.A.T.S?
I think since 2016.
Oh, really?
I mean, I've been for quite a long time.
Oh, wow. And
Because
I'm just getting to know you like within the last year.
well, because and I've been on Facebook since 2008. So wow, yeah, coming from that great MySpace.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So you've been there since 2016,
Yeah,
and of course
pretty much.
you're still there. So what has kept you there? What is it about our group that you find different that sets it apart from other music groups? If you are in another music group, I don't know.
Well, I'm in several music groups or what have you. Well, this one, um, uh, uh, this one, uh, this one appreciates. This one appreciates it when I say this one won a Grammy or this one did, because there was some other music groups that I did that too. I just did it just to do it. I was just trying to be nice, and they were like, "Oh, you're a snob," or you trying to be a show off and all that crap. And it's like, okay, I won't be participating with you. I mean,
I can understand that.
I just do it just to do like. And there are some people there. More people appreciate that. Well, I'll give an example of a tidbit. Uh, Somebody posted on one of the music groups that song "When Smokey Sings" by ABC.
Yes.
When Smokey Sings, that one. They posted it, and I put I put a comment on there that, because it's true, when that ABC song was in the top 10 on the Billboard Hot 100, Smokey Robinson was also in the top 10 with One Heartbeat, it marking the first and the only time that the honorer and the honoree were in the top 10 at the same time.
Okay.
So people appreciated that. They were like, wow, I didn't know that.
No, no, neither did I.
Yeah, but that's the first and the only time that has happened.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, did you do a lot of clubbing back in the day? Did you go to clubs to listen to music, to dance, or were you more of a person that would like to be entertained? In other words, did you go to I don't know, jazz clubs or
Well, I went to them all. I mean, jazz clubs and also now when I was going to college at MTSU in Murfreesboro, every Wednesday we would go to they had a disco called Faces that we went to. And why on Wednesdays? Because I remember MTSU, it's gotten a lot. Murfreesboro, Tennessee, has gotten a lot better now, and there are things to do. But back in the old, back in the olden days when I was going, I remember the first time I was like, "Oh man, Murfreesboro, I'm living on campus. This is going to be exciting this weekend." By by Friday to 3 p.m., that place was a ghost town. I was like, "Oh, oh well, if everybody's leaving, I'm leaving too." Because there was absolutely nothing to do on the weekends. And I live
hmm
in Nashville,
Uh-huh.
there was absolutely nothing to do on the weekend. So every weekend I would come back to Nashville, with the exception of like if it snowed or something, then everybody pretty much stayed.
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I asked you about your favorite group or artist, and you mentioned the Temptations. Now, can you give me some of your favorite artists that you actually have that you would buy albums for back in the day, aside from the Temptations? Were there other groups or other singers that you were interested in?
I became interested in anything that George Duke produced.
Okay.
Anything like, I mean, I was seriously collecting, and I still have some on CD and in stores. Anything that and vinyl storage, anything that George Duke produced, and George Duke's albums himself, I
Yes,
would.
yes.
but anything that said produced by George Duke, be it Better Days by the Blackbirds or the Sea Wind album or Twice Sweet by a Taste of Honey or whatever, God, he produced a lot of stuff. Uh,
Now,
I
I'm
was
not a Taste of Honey fan. I'm not a Taste of, I don't think I've ever bought their albums or anything like that. And their music sounds good, but I just never really, got into them. So Duke produced their first album
no, he produced the third. He
or
produced
the
the
third? Okay.
the one with Sukiyaki on it.
Okay. Okay.
And a matter of fact, that was the one that, because beforehand he was the people he were producing were in the jazz fusion vein,
Mm-hmm.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and then A Taste of Honey was the first pop act that he produced, and first pop R&B act that he produced. And that one, Sukiyaki, went gold, and pop and R&B the artists started calling him and say, "Can you do that for me?" And that's how his production career really got into high.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He's even produced Barry Manilow
Oh, wow. Yeah, that I didn't know either.
and Melissa Manchester.
Alyssa Manchester. Okay.
He's even produced and Loud Love It.
Okay.
Country Singer Loud Love It. He
Yeah, that
produced,
is definitely a diverse group there.
yeah. So, and Anita Baker and Natalie Cole and
Mm-hmm.
on and on and on.
And who were the other artists you were interested in?
Let's see. George Duke. Oh my God, the Isley Brothers, the 3+3 lineup. I saw, yeah, anything by the Isley Brothers.
Isley Brothers, yeah. They're
Uh,
they're they're really outstanding. They are.
Anything by the Isley. But I've seen them. Now I saw the 3+3 lineup twice.
Oh, did you?
The Showdown tour in 1978 and the Between the Sheets tour in 1983.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now,
Wow.
now the second time I saw them, I felt sorry. I mean, they did good, but I felt sorry for them because Midnight Star tore it up.
Oh.
Midnight Star was
Oh,
opening.
Midnight Star had opened for them.
Yeah, Midnight Star was the opening act, and they tore it up. That Freakazoid and No Park on the Dance Floor.
Yes.
They sounded better than the record. They
Whoa.
just should. They just should have put the mic instead of recording that stuff in the studio. They should put the mics up there and say, "Okay, record."
Yeah.
Because it sounded better than the record. I was
Wow.
like, "Wow."
Wow, that is awesome. I love when you go to a concert and they sound just as good as they are in the studio. That is amazing.
No, well, in this case, the studio didn't do them justice.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. That's saying a lot. Wow. Wow.
That's
Well, I've enjoyed this. I really have, John. And uh it's about time that we wrap this up. And
okay.
I've gotten to know you a little better. And I'm going to look out for your posts. And I'm going to, if I post something, you want to throw some information in there, please do.
No
Please
problem.
do. Now, we ask all our guests this one particular question.
Sure.
And I want to know if you had the opportunity to listen to only one song, what would that song be for you?
The opportunity to listen to one song.
Yes, you're asked, what is the one song that, in spite of everything, you're given this one opportunity to listen to a song, what would that song be for you?
Pure Gold by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Oh, okay. Pure
Uh,
Gold?
that was on the Illumination album, and although it's not well known, it was written and produced by Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
Okay, wow.
It's a very good song because the way essentially the chorus is, riches may come and go, but your love is pure gold. Great,
Wow.
it's just a great message.
Wow, wow. I like that. I like that. You know what? I got to get the opportunity to listen to that too. So I got to do Pure Gold, and I have
By
to.
Earth, Wind and Fire, yeah.
Yes, and I have to view your brother.
Yes, Tori and Stephen Hughes, or just Tori and Hughes.
All right. All right. Well, John, please, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to get to know you better. And I
This has
want to
been
thank you.
fun.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It really
Okay.
has. You take care.
Take
You too.
one.
Bye bye.
Bye.